In a world dominated by neo-colonialism, corruption and puppet regimes, one African leader dared to challenge the status quo. He refused foreign aid, sold off government luxury cars, and told Western powers to stop exploiting Africa. His name? Thomas Sankara, the man they called Africa's Che Guevara. But who was he really? And why was he assassinated just 4 years after coming to power? Stay with us as we explore the remarkable and tragic story of Thomas Sankara, the revolutionary who dared to dream of a free and self-reliant Africa. Thomas Isidore Noel Sankara was born on December 21st, 1949, in Yako, Upper Volta, a French colony at the time. His parents were devout Catholics, and his father had served in the French army during World War II. From a young age, Sankara showed signs of brilliance. He initially wanted to become a priest, but later enrolled in the military at 19. He studied in Madagascar, where he witnessed student uprisings and socialist revolutions. These experiences radicalized his thinking. Sankara believed Africa's problems were rooted in foreign domination and exploitation, and that only Africans could liberate themselves. Back in Upper Volta, Sankara's charisma and radical ideas quickly made him popular, especially among the youth and working class. But they also made him a threat to the political elite. In 1983, while serving as Prime Minister, he was arrested by President Jean-Baptiste Ouédraogo under pressure from foreign allies concerned about Sankara's anti-imperialist stance. But this backfired. On August 4, 1983, a group of junior officers led by his close friend Blaise Compaoré staged a coup and freed Sankara. At just 33 years old, he became president of Upper Volta. One of his first moves, changing the country's name. Upper Volta, a colonial name given by the French, was replaced with Burkina Faso, meaning land of upright people. Sankara's leadership was unlike anything Africa had seen. He slashed his presidential salary to $450 a month, sold the government's fleet of Mercedes-Benzes, and rode a bicycle, or drove a modest Renault 5. He banned first-class travel for ministers and replaced lavish dinners with modest meals. But his changes weren't just symbolic. He planted over 10 million trees to combat desertification. He launched nationwide vaccination campaigns, immunizing over 2.5 million children against measles, yellow fever, and meningitis in just weeks. He redistributed land from feudal landlords to peasants, boosting food production so much that Burkina Faso became self-sufficient in food within 3 years. Women were central to his revolution. He outlawed forced marriages, female genital mutilation, and polygamy, and encouraged women to take up leadership roles in government and the military. The revolution and women's liberation go together. We do not talk of women's emancipation as an act of charity or out of a surge of human compassion. It is a basic necessity for the triumph of the revolution. Sankara wasn't just trying to change Burkina Faso, he was trying to change Africa. He refused foreign aid that came with strings attached. He opposed the World Bank and IMF, calling their policies modern-day colonialism. At the Organization of African Unity Summit in Addis Ababa in 1987, he urged fellow African leaders to stop paying debt to former colonial powers. Sankara once said, "Debt is a cleverly managed reconquest of Africa, aimed at subjugating its growth and development through foreign rules." If we don't repay this debt, our creditors will not die. But if we do repay, we will die. He dreamed of a united Africa, free, independent and proud. But these views made him dangerous, not just to foreign powers, but to elites within Africa who profited from corruption and foreign dependency. Despite his massive popularity among the masses, Sankara was making enemies, lots of them. Foreign donors, local elites, neighbouring leaders, and even some in his own inner circle began to turn against him. His refusal to align with either the West or the Soviet bloc during the Cold War made him unpredictable. He nationalised land, clamped down on corruption, and challenged traditional authorities. Critics said he was becoming authoritarian, silencing opposition and pushing radical reforms too quickly. And then came the betrayal. On October 15, 1987, just 4 years after coming to power, Thomas Sankara was assassinated in a coup orchestrated by his former friend and right-hand man, Blaise Compaoré. Sankara and 12 of his comrades were gunned down during a meeting at the presidential palace in Ouagadougou. Their bodies were dismembered and hastily buried in unmarked graves. Compaoré took power the same day and immediately reversed many of Sankara's reforms. He restored ties with France, accepted foreign loans, and ruled for the next 27 years. For decades, Sankara's assassination was shrouded in mystery. But many suspected foreign involvement, particularly from France and Côte d'Ivoire, countries deeply unsettled by his anti-imperialist stance. Despite his short rule, Thomas Sankara's legacy lives on. To many, he remains the symbol of African resistance, a beacon of what could have been. In 2014, after massive protests ousted Blaise Compaoré, a new wave of Sankarism swept across Burkina Faso. His grave was exhumed, and in 2021 Compaoré was tried in absentia and sentenced to life in prison for Sankara's assassination. Across Africa and beyond, young people still wear Sankara's image on T-shirts, chant his speeches and look to his vision for inspiration. While revolutionaries as individuals can be murdered, you cannot kill ideas, and truly Sankara's ideas live on in every African who dreams of dignity, justice and self-reliance. He lived simply, died young, and changed a nation forever. Thomas Sankara didn't just talk about revolution, he lived it, and for that he paid the ultimate price. But maybe that's what it takes to change the world. Super long live Sankara. Please do not forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel. Also, please share your thoughts below.